today's class, you don't need any props, just come to a comfortable seat. We'll be focusing in on wrist extension, so pulling fingertips to forearms, and drilling this in a couple different positions. To start, we always assess our space with cars, so grab onto your forearm and imagine this is a vice grip. Now, pull your middle finger to your forearm, try and bring the back of your hand to your forearm, and really squeeze this small little space. When you can't move any further, try and hold that tension as you draw a nice big circle. Imagine a paintbrush at the end of the middle finger towards the midline of the body. Now you'll grab this thumb corner here as you start to reach towards the midline and then sweep your fingertips down to center. Try and high five your forearm and then transfer that tension to the pinky side crease as you slowly complete that circle all the way into the right side and then up. Again, find that big squeeze at the top, and we go back all the way that we came. So rotate towards that pinky side, grab that pinky corner, and then start to squeeze through the bottom of the wrist as you pull the palm to the forearm, going as far as you can. And then thumb up towards that other side, bringing that wrist back into extension, big squeeze. So we're moving slowly. Now for the second round, watch for any compensations to the forearm. Commonly, we roll the palm up and the palm down. We really want to isolate that wrist. If there was any pain during that range of motion, remember to make that circle smaller. So we're moving through what doesn't hurt, avoiding that painful range. So that big circle might start to look like a bit of a pie in a weird shape. That's all right. Get ready for your second round. Vice grip the forearm. Then exhale, middle finger to forearm. You got it. Squeeze to the back here. Now start to draw that circle towards the midline, the thumb side. We'll grab that thumb corner and then transfer that squeeze to the bottom of the wrist. Max it out here and then start to reach up through that pinky side. We squeeze that little tiny corner of the wrist. Keep that forearm flat and then bring the middle finger all the way up to the forearm. Big squeeze at the top. That's it. We got half a rep left. Let's go all the way back. Squeeze that little pinky side. Squeeze through the bottom. Hold on to that tension. Last little bit as you come up through the thumb side. All the way up to center. Squeeze at the top. Hold that extension and then let it go. Shake it out. And now we have to do the other wrist. So same rules apply. Pain-free range of motion, lots of squeeze throughout the movement, and forearm stays flat the entire time. Grab on, middle finger to forearm. Notice if there's any difference in range of motion. That's all right. We're just going to express what we have on this side. Exhale, start towards that thumb side. So you squeeze that little thumb crease. Start to reach and build that circle as you come all the way down. High five your forearm, low five your forearm, and then come up through the pinky side, big squeeze, and then bring it all the way up back into that extension. And this is where we start to pivot to go all the way back. Hold on to that tension, start to grab it through that pinky corner, and then come all the way down and across through the bottom. Reach as far as you can as you come up through that thumb side, and then all the way back up to center. Take a break. Again, reset for the second side, being aware of those compensations. They might happen. It's just about catching them and correcting them. Then we go again. Last wrist guard. Let's go towards the thumb side. Grab that little thumb corner. Squeeze it all the way down. And then come across. Reach up through that pinky side. Bring it all the way up. Reach into that extension. And then we go all the way back. Keeping that tension, holding on for these last few seconds as you bring that hand down and across, drawing that nice, slow, controlled circle all the way back up and around, forearm flat the entire time, and then release it out, shake it out. For working into extension, come into a tabletop. Hands will be underneath the shoulders. However, if this puts a lot of pressure on the wrists and it's actually painful, make this angle at the top of the wrist bigger. Walk those hands forwards. Now, rock enough weight forwards that you start to feel a stretch through the bottom of the wrists. What can help you find this is actually trying to gas pedal your hands down into the ground. So you're building that support below the wrist as you try and find that stretch the back of the wrists. Now that you have your stretch, let's just sit and hold here. Noticing where we feel it. And also notice over these next few cycles of breath if it starts to fade away. Now, if anything painful does come up again, move those hips back, increase that angle. But if it's all good, let's continue to stay. We'll count us down, holding for 30 seconds. And while you're here, continue to find that stretch, maintaining some sort of sensation wherever it is. You can breathe slowly in through the nose and out through the nose. You feel your ribs expand on the inhale, and exhale, gently pull those ribs down and together. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale to ease off. You can give those hands a pull, give yourself some space, give yourself some relief. Now we want to try and strengthen that range of motion of extension. What we'll do is we'll find that stretch, and then on an exhale, try and gas pedal your hands down into the ground. So we're pushing down as hard as we can. However, we're not going to lift the base of the hand. Everything's going to stay exactly still. And then we'll switch to trying to pull ourselves deeper into that stretch and deeper into the extension of the wrist. So you might not move at all, but what you might feel is strong cramp or work sensation through the top of the wrist and that little tiny wrist crease as you try and grab more extension. You might feel some pressure come out of the fingertips. Now I'm going to cue us through 3 rounds of these tails and rails. And of course, if you need to take a break at any point, take a break. Focus on quality and that connection to extension versus the quantity of how many sets that you do. Now find that stretch. Come back into your tabletop. Rock the shoulders forwards as far as you need to. Then exhale, start to press the palms and the fingertips down into the mat so you can hover the base of your palm. Find 50% effort. And then see if you can layer it on to 60, to 70. Now, how would it feel to try and press down 10% more? And maybe another, and let's just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take an inhale. Now on your exhale, keep the shoulders right where they are and try and bring the back of your hand towards your forearm. Grab all that strength in front of your wrist crease. Now find 50%. If it already feels like 100, back off just a little bit. Find 60%, 70, 80. We're heading through the palm of the heel. How would it feel to layer on just even 10% more? We're almost at that max effort for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go. You can shake out those hands, shake out those wrists. As if your first time doing this might be enough. And if it is, take a break. You can join us on later in the video. If you're ready for a second round, we're going to increase that time by another 5 seconds for a total of 10 in each direction, the push down and the pull up. If you need to take a break at any point, you can always stop before that 10 seconds is up. Find your stretch once again. Exhale, begin to ramp up, pressing down through the fingertips and the palms, as if you could push that ground away. Find your 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90. Max effort squeeze. We've got it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale in. Now exhale. Imagine you can take those fingertips off the mat, squeeze it from the wrist, 50%. Now leave yourself room to squeeze for 60, for 70, 80, 90. Let's find max effort hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit on back, take your pressure off the wrists. You can give those hands a tug. Now this next round, we call it the grip it and rip it. We're going to push down as hard and fast as we can and then pull it off as hard as fast as we can, just like a band-aid. Now this hold might feel a little bit longer. We're still going to hold it for 10 seconds, but we're not taking that slow ramp up. Again, if you need to sit this round out, take a break, join us in the next step. Shake out the wrists. Last one, that's it. Last little bit of, it's actually hard work is still tough. So separate shoulder blades, and when you're ready, rock into your stretch. Find that stretch. You know what to fight. Exhale, push down through fingertips and palms as much as you can, as fast as you can. Let's hold max effort. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Rip it and rip it. Exhale. Try and pull yourself deeper into that stretch. Squeeze the front of the wrist. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it for the pails and the rails. Roll out the wrists. Now all we have to do is use that space. We're going to do this with some passive range liftoffs, and that's going to be another big squeeze through the fronts of the wrists. We're going to take 5 reps, and you can do this on your own, 5 to 10 reps, as many sets as you need. But for today, especially if this is your first time, keep it a little light, a little easy. Find your stretch. Rock those shoulders forwards. Now from here, try and actively pull the back of the hand to your forearm, as if you could lock it into space. And then we take the support away from underneath our palms by pulling the hips back and lifting those palms up. And we want to try and maintain that same angle that we found when our shoulders were over our wrists or past. Then rock yourself forwards. So that's 1. Rock it forwards, find your stretch. Try and lock in that angle. Back the hand to the forearm and then take that support away, working that wrist crease, big squeeze. And then we rock it back slowly, parachuting those hands back down to the ground. Watch that pressure roll up the palm and then all the way up to the fingertips. Let's do it again. Pull and squeeze. Take that support away. Rock it back. Really connect to that small space on the top of the wrist. And slowly place the palm, those 4 knuckles, middle of the fingers, all the way to the fingertips back on. Can you do 2 more? Squeeze it, lift, hover it, and then control that descent. This is nice and slow. This is why we're only doing a few reps. Might feel like a max effort set already. And the last one, biggest squeeze yet. All that intention in the wrist as much as possible. Pull it back. And then lower it down nice and slow. Sit on down. Shake out those wrists. And then what you'll do next is just seal all that good work in with some really intentional wrist cars. Again, we trained extension. So focus on that extension in your wrist car, really trying to grab as much space as you can, and then reach yourself around and complete your circle.